Hey guys, okay, so this is part 2 of my garden 2024 kind of seed haul. Just showing you guys what I am going to be growing in my garden this year. I can't believe it's here. I'm so excited. I've got lots of seeds started already. We are now in February. If you missed part 1 of my garden, I will leave that linked for you wherever it gets linked. I think it gets linked over here in this corner. I'll also leave it in the video description for you guys. It just pretty much went over what I'm going to be planting in my spring garden. This video is going to be what I am planting in my summer garden. So by summer garden, I just mean things that love heat. So like tomatoes, melons, peppers, all of those fun stuff. So that's going to be in this video. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy it, and here you go. Okay, on to the next sheet, which is our summer garden. We will get started with beans. So last year I grew a whole bunch of beans. They didn't start out very well for me. They were getting eaten by birds. We have a lot of birds here, and I have to cover everything with like a covering when I plant them. Otherwise the birds come in, and the squirrels too. They come and pick out all of the seeds. So beans I kind of struggled with at the beginning, but then all of a sudden they came on, and they came on like I was giving my neighbors and our friends grocery bags full of green beans. We just had so many of them. I canned a whole bunch of them. So this year I'm not gonna do like hard focus on beans. Now, when I say beans, I mean like green beans. This year I'm actually going to be really focusing on dry beans. So to get started, we are going to be trying to grow a year's worth of cannelloni beans. So I have 3 different packets here because I'm going to be doing a really huge long row of it. And again, when we get into gardening season, I'm going to be bringing you guys out to show you what we're doing. I'm also going to be doing garden tours, so I'll keep you up to date on what we're planting. But we're going to try to do a year's worth of cannelloni beans. I actually have 4 packets of those. And then we're going to be trying to do a year's worth of black beans. So this is the variety we're going to be doing. I was going to get, there's a variety called Cherokee Tears, I believe, which is a black bean. You can use it as a green bean or a black bean. And apparently that does extremely well in my area. But I already had 2 packets of these ones, so I didn't end up getting it. But if you are in my zone, that is supposed to be a really good black bean to grow in this area. And then we're going to try to do year's worth of these pinto beans. And then, so those are our drying beans that we're gonna try to do. And then as far as like just green beans, I have a couple of different varieties here. I'm probably just gonna plant like 1 or 2 seeds of each of these varieties and then just kind of do a comparison. I really like the stringless variety, especially when it comes to canning, because that's how I preserve all of my beans, is I can them. It's just, I like canned beans. You can freeze them, but I have such limited freezer space because we buy all of our meat in bulk, so I don't have a lot of extra space for vegetables that I could easily just can. And we like canned green beans, but I know everybody has different preferences with it. We're fans, so that's what I do. So we're gonna try this variety, and then this variety. This one sounded interested. It says it's an extra tender bush bean, and it's got like a Kentucky Wonder flavor, and it's stringless. So that was the big thing that I was looking for this year, was stringless varieties. Again, it's just easier when it comes to canning for me to have that. And then I'm gonna do a couple of these yellow beans. These are pretty good. So those are our bush beans. And then we have pole beans. We're gonna do the Kentucky Wonder, just because we're in Kentucky, so we gotta do this Kentucky Wonder. So we're gonna do that one for a pole bean. 2 fun things that I'm gonna be trying this year are these. We're kind of going away from the alphabetical order, but we'll just throw this in here. I'm gonna try these. Now, after I bought them, I was thinking, oh, huckleberry, you know, sweet berry, I can make pies and stuff with it. But then after I bought it, I started reading more reviews, and a lot of people say that this is just a meh plant. It's a heavy producer, but the berries don't taste the best. They tend to taste bland, is what a lot of people said. I'm not gonna devote a huge space to this. We'll try to put a couple in and see if we like it. If anything, chicken food. I can grow my feed, so that's good. And then this is another fun one I'm really excited about. So this one is a perennial and it will grow into be a bush, and it takes a long time to get established. It usually takes here, it says 2 to 3 years before you start to really get fruit off of it. So this is one that, you know, it's a slow beginning. I had to get this actually started in February inside, and then I can plant it out. I'm not planning on getting any gojo berries off of it this year because, again, it says it usually takes 2 to 3 years before they start producing. But I'm going to put this over kind of where my berries are, and this will be one of my perennials. But I'm excited about this. I love gojo berries, dried gojo berries. So delicious. Another bush bean I forgot to mention is we're going to be doing this one. We love edamame beans, soybeans, really delicious. So they do well here, so I'm gonna do quite a bit of that because I put them all in the freezer and then we have them throughout the winter. I love them. Okay, so corn. We're gonna do a lot of corn, but it is in the freezer. I store my corn in the freezer because it is a seed that actually doesn't store very well. It needs to be kind of cold in order to have longevity. I bought some of them at the end of last year, so I just throw them in my freezer just to kind of keep the germination rate high. Corn, onions, and I think maybe carrots are one of them. I don't know. I know for sure corn and onions seeds don't last a really long time. So we'll get to the corn after we're done everything else, and I'll tell you because I grow a year's worth of corn. I love corn. Okay, so for cucumbers. We don't eat cucumbers really fresh very often. I do like them in like sushi and stuff like that and in salads, but Steven's not a huge fan. So again, if it's just me eating it, mind you, when the kids are here in the summer, they also love cucumbers. So we do eat some, but not a whole bunch. But this year is my pickling year. I try to grow pickled cucumbers every other year, and I didn't actually grow any last year, so this year is the year I have to grow all of my pickled cucumbers. So we are gonna do this variety, and we are gonna do this variety for our pickling cucumbers. I'm gonna try to make gherkins this year, which are like little baby dills. So we'll end up picking these when they're really small and see if we can make some gherkins with them. And then I'm gonna grow this variety just for fresh eating to have with salads. We love making sushi, so this will be good in the sushi. And I think that's it for my cucumbers. Again, we don't eat a lot of them, so I don't really like to devote too much space to them. Melons. Melon is one thing we eat so much of in the summer. So we're gonna try a couple new varieties this year. This is one that we're gonna try new to us. I've heard great things about this variety, so we're gonna give that a try. This variety does amazing here, amazing. And these things get to be huge, like this big, huge, and they weigh like, I think I had one that weighed like 5 pounds or something. It's crazy. They taste exactly like cantaloupe. So if you like cantaloupe, you would like this variety. It is just like a huge one. So those do really well here, so we'll be growing those. And I don't do those on a trellis because they get so big. I just do them on the ground like I would like a watermelon because they get to be watermelon size. And then we're gonna do some of this on a trellis and some of this. We both really love honeydew melons. So those are gonna be our kind of our sweet melons. I mean, I'll do watermelons also, but we're on the ends. So watermelons comes near the end. And then okra, we like okra. We love to have it pickled and definitely fried. So I'm gonna grow a couple of different varieties this year. I'm gonna grow this one. I'm gonna grow some of this one and this one. I also grow okra just for the flower. Their flowers are beautiful. Actually, doing research last year, I learned that okra is part of the hibiscus family. So their flowers look like hibiscus flowers and they're just so beautiful. Like I like okra to eat, but I almost just pretty much grow it for the flowers. Okay, so pepper time. These are hot peppers and sweet peppers. So for the hot peppers this year, I need to can all of my jalapenos this year. Last year, I didn't focus on canning any jalapenos. This is the year that we're gonna can jalapenos. So I thought it would be really fun to do like different colors of jalapenos because I love cowboy candy. So I thought, let's just have some different colors, like a red, a yellow, a green in there. It'll look really fun. So we're gonna grow some of these pumpkin spice jalapenos. They don't taste like pumpkin spice, they taste like a jalapeno, but they're yellow or orange. So we're gonna grow some of those. And then we're just gonna grow regular jalapenos. I actually have a couple of different varieties I like. So we're gonna try this one this year, but this was one of my favorite ones. And then we are going to grow some of these this year. This is not really like a hot pepper. We're gonna grow these because I want to try to bread them and fry them. I forget what that dish is called. Rancho, I forget, and I'm not gonna even pronounce it right. But I'm growing them just so I can make that one Mexican dish with them. I got it at a restaurant and I love it. So that'll be that. This is one of the plants that we're actually gonna plant in the front as kind of like a landscaping plant because it is really, really beautiful. It just looks like just an array of different colors when they're coming on. Like you get yellow, red, and green. So I'm gonna put those in the front. They do really, really well here. So we're gonna try to grow those, and I like to make hot sauce with them. And then we're gonna do some cayenne. I like to just make my own cayenne pepper. And then this year we're gonna do some of these. These are called a hot lemon. So again, I just like the variety of different colors. Oh, I think this year, oh no, I might actually, it might be in my sweet pepper thing. Probably in my sweet pepper thing. There's one other pepper that I might need to order more of. For the sweet peppers this year, we're gonna try this variety. It sounded really, really interesting on their website. It's a sweet pepper. It is from the early 1900s, and it says that it changes color. So I really like to have pepper plants, again, as a landscaping thing almost, because it's like a pretty flower when they come up and they are changing colors. So this one is known for its really, I can't even see on the package. It's just really pretty. I like to eat pretty things, so I like to grow pretty things. So we're gonna try those. We are also gonna try this variety. Just over at Roots and Refuge grew this. I think this is what she grew this year, and she said they were really, really delicious. So we're gonna give these ones a try and see how they are. I'm excited for them. And then we have just our regular sweet pepper. I like to grow them and just cut them up and put them in the freezer, and that way we have peppers all winter long. And this is the one that I was actually looking for, banana pepper. We are gonna grow our banana peppers this year because I canned them. And again, last year I didn't really focus on doing canning of peppers. So this year we're gonna get all of our banana peppers. And then this is one of my favorite peppers. I love grilling these. These are so delicious. So I actually have 2 packets of them in case I didn't have enough. And then we also have this pepper. This is a sweet pepper. It's supposed to be a really good grilling pepper. What I'm hoping to do with this particular variety is I am hoping to smoke it and then grind it up and then have paprika. Paprika is just pretty much a smoked pepper that's been like, well, not smoked. You can have smoked paprika or regular paprika. It's just pretty much a red pepper that's been dried and ground up. So, and I think there actually is a paprika pepper. I'm not sure, but we're gonna try these ones for it, and then we're gonna smoke them because we love smoked paprika. We eat so much of it on everything. So that's my hope with these guys, is to do that. And then just a couple of pepperoncinis this year. We don't eat a ton of pepperoncinis, but I do like to have them canned. And then if I have space, we'll do some of these. We really like red peppers and yellow peppers. We're not huge fans of green peppers, so we like to just kind of let the peppers change color. So that's it for the peppers. Let's go to pumpkins. So a couple different varieties of pumpkins this year we're gonna try. We're gonna do the Cinderella pumpkin. We're gonna do this one. This one says that it is supposed to be like a creamy blend without, what does it say here? It is supposed to be less fibrous. So we're gonna try that one. I love this one, and in fact, I think I only have 1 seed in here. 1 seed. So I'm not gonna buy more of it though, because I'm already doing it. No, I have 2 seeds in here. So we're gonna try 2 of them. Hopefully they germinate, because that's all I got. I like these ones also. These do not store very well though, so they almost have to get processed pretty quickly. So we're just gonna do a couple of those. And then these ones are very good in my area. They do very well. They come early. So I am usually harvesting in like July. I'm harvesting pumpkins. So I really like these. And in fact, I just processed my last 2 yesterday because they were starting to go bad, and we are now in February. So that's how long they lasted. Not huge, long storage pumpkin, but lasted long enough, and they produced really well. So we're gonna grow those ones. Those are gonna be the pumpkins. And then for summer squash, we're gonna try this variety, and then this variety. So we're just gonna plant them throughout the year. I usually like to succession sow, I think that's how you pronounce it, the zucchini, because we have really bad squash bugs here. Like they are really bad. So I usually like to try to plant those throughout the summer season. Okay, so we're getting into the tomatoes. We're gonna start with cherry tomatoes. This variety I grew last year. Love it. It is like a super sweet cherry tomato, and I don't think I have a lot of seeds. I think I maybe only have 5 or 6 seeds in here, so hopefully they germinate. I got this packet last year, so they should be fine for germination. And then I like the sweetie cherry tomatoes. Those are good. So those are what we're gonna do for cherry tomatoes. I might end up looking at the Amish to see if I can find like a chocolate cherry tomato, because that's the other thing with colors. I love having salads that are just full of different colors, and if I can make like a tomato salad that has like all different colors of tomatoes in it, again, like to eat pretty things. So that, I'm gonna maybe look for that. Okay, so we're gonna get into what I call like the beefsteak tomatoes. So these are more like the bigger ones, the ones that tend to have a lot more like water content to them. Not necessarily super good for canning, but really good for like tomato sandwiches. Love tomato sandwiches. So this is my all-time favorite tomato. Paul Robinson. This tomato is like a smoky, just delicious tomato. This is my favorite tomato. I cannot highly recommend it. If you've never grown it, I strongly recommend it. It is such a good tomato. They're not overly big, at least they didn't get overly big for me here. Again, I battle with the humidity. My plants usually end up dying from blight because it's so humid here, but they did okay for me. There's like a nice slicing tomato size. And then I'm gonna try this variety this year. I've heard good things about it. Never had it before, but we're gonna give it a try. My second favorite is pineapple. Love these. These get to be pretty big also. And then we are going to do some Abe Lincoln. These suckers get huge, like huge. Like I was holding a tomato one time and it was like this big. So good. So those get to be really big tomatoes. And then we also like this variety. So I'm gonna do a couple plants of those. I have so many tomatoes in here, and it's just honestly what happens is I just plant a whole bunch, and whatever survives, those are what goes in the ground. So I have ideas at the beginning of the year, but usually I end up getting out there and I'm just like, I'm just gonna put a little here, a little here. Let's try this one. So what I'm saying now most likely will change when it comes time to like actually planting them. So we have Boxcar Willie. This is another good variety. And then Mortgage Lifter. These ones get really big. So those are the ones I'm thinking right now that I want to do. Definitely the Paul Robinson though. Definitely. And then paste tomatoes. These ones are really good for doing sauces and stuff. They don't have as much juice in them, so they cook down a lot quicker. So I use these two varieties. I really like them. This is one of them. These get to be actually pretty big. And then this is the other one. These also get really big here. So those are gonna be my paste tomatoes. And then we are gonna do some tomatillos. This is a variety I grew last year and it did very, very well for me. So I'm gonna put a couple of tomatillo plants in. Tomatillos need to have 2 tomatillo plants in order for them to grow. If you only plant 1 tomatillo, you most likely won't get any. It's because it needs to cross-pollinate with each other or use another plant. I don't know the official word for it. You need 2 plants in order to get fruit. So I'm gonna plant 2 tomatillo plants. We have 2 more bins to get to. So watermelon is the next one up. This one's one of my favorite ones. So this is gonna be a new variety for me this year. I seen this seed packet last year and thought, I'm gonna try that. So I ended up buying this at the end of last year and it just sounds really, really delicious. These say that they can get 10 to 15 pounds. It's a lot of watermelon. So we're gonna give that a try. This variety is one that we love, like really love it. It is so, so delicious. The description says that tastes like an Asian pear and apple with light citrus tones. We didn't find that. Like I don't remember it being pear, apple, or citrus tasting. It's just really, really good. I don't even know really how to describe it. It's just really juicy and just really flavorful. It's a really good watermelon to try. So we're gonna grow that. I barely have any seeds left. I think I have 4 seeds. Hopefully they germinate. And then we're gonna throw a couple in of these Moon and Stars. These usually do pretty good for me. So we're just gonna do a couple of those ones. So that is it for the watermelons. And so the last thing is our winter squash. So a couple new ones I'm gonna try this year. This is one of them. The North Georgia Candy Roaster. It's supposed to be a super, super sweet squash. I love butternut squash. To me, butternut squash really reminds me almost of like a sweet potato. It's delicious. So we're gonna try this because it's supposed to be really sweet. And then we are gonna do some spaghetti squash because I love doing this and using this as like noodles and stuff. It works really, really well. And then some of this, we're gonna try this variety this year. Butternut squash does really well for me as long as the squash bugs don't get it. Now I was debating whether I was gonna do these again. I did these last year and they didn't do super well for me and they honestly didn't store very well. But upon looking at this, I think I actually picked mine maybe a tad bit early, and the reason I had to pick mine was because the squash bugs were just all over it. So I don't think I'm gonna try it this year. I may end up putting a couple in, I'm not sure. The other thing that I'm not doing this year, but I'm gonna give it a mention because I think it needs to have a mention, is loofah. I did loofah 3 years ago and I still have so much loofah, it is insane. You literally need to grow loofah maybe once every 5 years. It is so prolific, and all that you really need to do is, it is a trellising thing. So what I did was I planted it on like a little tiny area, and what ended up happening is it caught my fence and it just vined on my fence. So I didn't even necessarily have it trellised in an area, it just did its own thing and I just let it take over the fence area. But it is very, very, very prolific, and if you want to have loofahs for the next 10 years, grow it 1 year. So that is going to be my spring and summer garden. I'm so excited to take you guys along this year. I am so excited for it. Like, especially today being that it's supposed to be 62, it's just like, I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. And it's so funny because I look back at some of my clips from like August when I was literally in tears because I just had so many things that I had to just deal with, like preserve and deal with. And I was just like, I was over the garden. It was literally brought me to tears. But then now, and I knew this was gonna happen, and I think I even said it in my video, one of my videos from August, I was like, I'm gonna come like February and just be just there, just waiting for it, just ready for it. I just love seeing new life. I love being able to grow the food that we eat. I don't know, I guess you're either a gardener or not a gardener. And I guess if you're watching this, you're a gardener, so you know the level of love that I'm talking about. But it's just like to be able to take something tiny little speck and be able just to grow prolific food with it is just amazing. And it speaks so much to the power of God that he can take a tiny little seed like that and grow it into something huge that will feed your family. It's just amazing. As a gardener, it is definitely, that's my way that I really, in the summer, that's my way that I really connect with God, is through the garden, because you cannot not believe in God if you grow things, because it's just a miracle how it works. And then sometimes he tests my patience when things don't grow. He just, you know, it just tests me. So it's always a learning experience with the garden. And as I'm talking about testing things, last year I had horrible luck with my corn and I had to try it twice. So I forgot I was gonna show you my corn step. Hold on, I'll go grab it. So this is the last thing. So for corn, I'm probably gonna end up actually going and picking up some more corn from like Tractor Supply or somewhere like that, Walmart. Just grab some generic hybrid seeds. So for the very first one, we're gonna try this one. We really like sweet corn, so we're gonna try this variety, and then we are also gonna try this variety. I have a couple of different packages. I devote a lot of my garden to corn because we eat a lot of it. So I have a lot of space devoted to that. The other variety that we're gonna try to grow just a couple rows of is some popcorn. I don't know how well this is gonna do. I've had this seed packet for 2 years and it has been out of the freezer for I've had this for 3 years. It's been out of the freezer for 2 years of it. So I don't know how the germination rate's gonna be on this. We love popcorn as a treat at night. So hopefully that'll germinate. If it doesn't, it's fine, but we're gonna give it a try anyways. So I'll probably end up going and picking up a couple more packets from like Tractor Supply. Again, just because we grow so much of it, and I was trying to get some on My Gardener and he was sold out of a lot of the varieties that I wanted. So we'll just try that, because I honestly don't want to put another seed order in, because then I just get carried away. Just click some of this, some of that, some of this, and I have no self-control. That's what it is. Absolutely no self-control when it comes to seed buying. It gets carried away very, very quickly. So I recognize that that's a weakness, so I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm not gonna have self-control. So no more seed buying for me from seed websites, but Walmart, Tractor Supply. But in my defense, the Walmart, Tractor Supply, I'm gonna go there and get exactly what I need. I think, I hope. Anyways. Thanks so much, guys, for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. It's definitely gonna be a long video, but it's so exciting. It's such an exciting time of year. And like I said, this year, I'm gonna take you guys along with me. We're gonna do some garden tours. I'm gonna show you how my garden's doing, and I cannot wait to bring you guys along with me. So thank you again so much for watching today's video. It does mean a lot to me that you guys watch this and subscribe and like and comment. I love interacting with you guys in the comments. It's just, you guys are my group of friends, and I love it. I love being able to bring you along with stuff that we're doing here. It's like I get to talk to my friend every time I turn the camera on. It's awesome. So again, thanks so much. I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys.